Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Saltsea Chronicles. Okay, I took another short break. I went on vacation for a few days. I didn't have any episodes preloaded to post while I was gone, and then once I got back, I didn't really feel like recording for a couple of days, but I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna try and finish this game without no more breaks, because, oh, as slow as this process has been, I am really enjoying this game and I want to see it through. So, I did notice that we have some more issues to check on. I don't know what we have that's new. Stu doesn't like that Iris made a unilateral decision about Jayantha. Yeah, I feel like I need to give Iris a break. I've been giving them a little too much responsibility than I feel they are really capable of. I love this being their story because they're my favorite character, but I'm starting to feel like they've gotten a little too big for their britches, and I'm assuming Neshko is going to take lead in our next adventure to Fort Alcazar, and I'll have Iris stay behind, I think. Merle turns over and murmurs a name in his sleep. No one is there to catch the sound of it. Stu leaves her worries at the surface as she dives deep. She wonders about harvesting a few of the tasty-looking red crabs. Neshko stares out at the tall, familiar walls of Fort Alcazar. It's the first time he's set a course here for a long time. Carried by waves, the radio array crackles. Iris turns it up. Iluka is steaming hot right now, man. Time to chart your course. Iris sighs. Thought it was going to be something important. It's just Gallo. Who's Gallo? No one important. Will you reply? Iris shakes their head. No. We're almost at Fort Alcazar. Gallo can wait. Gallo. I miss Gallo. Not short of longing. Iris is doing something complex with the portable array circuitry. Kiddick is pretending to study a chart at the table. Their eyes drift over to Iris. Return their gaze, Iris. Iris catches Kiddick's eye and raises their eyebrows. Kiddick quickly looks away, suddenly very interested in the charts. Before long, Kiddick's eye is drawn back to Iris. They're working hard at signal modulations. Iris smiles covertly, not minding the attention at all. Your chart is upside down. Kiddick silently turns it right way up. Oh, good. Tekelpi's crew now definitely outnumbered the available bunks. Some of them are eager to disembark, others just want peace. There's something more with Iris over here, but let's check in with... Oh, confession. Are you gonna confess, Sanny? An open door. Molpe sits above decks with Ade in her lap. The pre-dawn light lifts the sky. Sanny, between reps in her morning exercise routine, decides to take a rest and join her. The air! Sanny sighs. Air on Seesaw not so good? Mostly dusty carpets and threadbare upholstery. What's upholstery? Like a costume? Sanny laughs warmly. It's what they call furniture in the handbook. I feel like Sanny would be forward. A cloud passes over Sanny's previously serene expression, assuming this is about her feelings for Molpe, which I guess I'm assuming that, and we don't really know. She takes a breath. Molpe? I think you know this, but I just wanted to say it. Molpe sits up straighter. Because I think saying it will make it better for you. Lighter. I know you're in a complicated place right now. And I also know I feel something for you. Molpe's face gets hot, despite the cool pre-dawn air. Look at her eyes. I just wanted to say that I respect you too much to, press the point, you know? I'm going to have my feelings, and I'm not going to ask you to do anything. Not now. Not until, you know. Until I know what's happening with Maya. Sandy nods. It could go nowhere. Malpe looks a little lost. Don't worry, I'm not going to, ignore you now or anything. I like the feelings. I just wanted you to know. For me, the door's open, and while I'm not going to close it, I'm not going to step through it either. Malpe begins to grin. Oh, that's surprisingly mature. It's not something I expected out of Sandy. She seems a little high-strung and maybe a little pushy, but that's a very mature stance to take. What? The door metaphor not working for you? It's taking all her strength not to get up and teasingly wrestle with Sandy right now. Aw. That really helps. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy grins, heart racing. Ade lets out a happy little sigh. They go back to enjoying the silk of the air on their skin. Oh, that was scuppered? Sandy confesses her feelings to Malpe in a gentle and supportive manner. Or Sandy confesses her feelings to Malpe. What was scuppered about that? Hold on, I gotta check this. So we solved something, but scuppered another. Sandy has developed feelings for Malpe and wants to tell her about them. Okay, she confessed, wanted to hold the door open, okay. But what was scuppered? Stu sees that Sandy is getting close to Malpe and feels protective of Malpe's ability to handle more drama. Sandy confesses her feelings for Malpe, but Stu's worries about Malpe are assuaged by the gentle way Sandy handles it. Okay. So, it's not a bad thing. I'm guessing that really the only difference between solved and scuppered is that resolved issues give us a little extra piece of dialogue, and scuppered issues don't. I'll save that for last. Let's talk more with Iris. Regretting Jayantha, Iris has paused in their work and is staring into nothingness, deep in thought. Kiddick sighs loudly, catching Iris's attention. Sorry. That's, okay. What are you thinking? Jayantha. Oh. I just can't stop wondering. Kiddick shakes their head. There's no going back now. What if it was the wrong decision? What is done is done. The only thing is to move forward. Iris looks at Kiddick. Profound. Kiddick sticks their tongue out at Iris. I'm actually a very profound person. Iris's natural laughter surprises them both. Aw. All right. Something to say. Sandy catches Malpe staring at her and grins. Off with the dancers? Malpe's cheeks flush hot, and then she grins back. Sorry. I won't forget, you know. Don't go thinking that just because we agreed that you need to sort this other stuff out. Sandy nods. I'm not pushing it all away. I'm just holding it lightly. Sandy takes a step towards Malpe, close enough to breathe in the scent of her. They stand, close but not together, the air electric. Yeah, I understand you wanting to find out what happened to Maya, but I think at this point it's a foregone conclusion that Maya is bad news and you need to dump her. I feel like that's a pretty sure thing now. But I understand needing closure before anything else. Alright, to Alcazar. The once upon a time fort looms ahead, heavy and somber. Can it really be full of artists? Time to find out. Ready to disembark? Yes. Time to proceed. Isle of Art. You grew up here? That's so cool. Neshko nods sadly. It is a special place. Such a fascinating locale. I've heard a great deal about the unique artisan community here. Sanny feels like she should add something. Interesting architecture? I do feel it's rather peculiar that you've never spoken about it before, Neshko. Neshko shrugs, looking at the floor. What is there to say? Let's not press the matter. Let's talk about what's important. What matters is finding out about this beacon. The trail of the silent sails grows ever more tenuous. Is that what we're calling them?
Mm-hmm.
You'll know who to speak to, right? Neshko squirms in his seat. It might be difficult. Difficult how? Morin will talk to us, I think. I wonder if he's still in his workshop. And Helly, whatever she's up to, she'll be okay. But we might need Magdalene. Sanny recognizes the look on Neshko's face. Home isn't easy for everyone. Kiddick nods emphatically. What are you not telling us? Neshko's shoulders droop in submission. I left under difficult circumstances. It was my fault. I don't want to talk about it. The silence is thick and uncomfortable. Well, we can respect that. And I would be happy to support you on your visit, with my discretion. I'd very much like to see Alcazar. Artists are those who most often carry the stories of our past, after all. Mulpey gives him a look. Of course, our search for Case takes priority. Only space in the tender for, but I'd gladly take it. Only space in the tender for? What? I don't understand what she meant by that. I like a bit of art, me. Sandy smiles supportively at Neshko. I'm sure, whatever it is, if you just explain yourself, they'll understand. I believe in you. Mulpey grins at Sandy's enthusiasm. Neshko returns it with a tight smile, then turns to Merle and Stu. What do either of you know about forgiveness? For once, neither of them have the slightest idea what to say. Issue. Neshko seems overly secretive about his past. Alright, so we're choosing between Merle and Stu. I don't really have a preference at this point, but I will look and see what their motives and what they could bring, what those are, and then I'll choose. A once abandoned fort now populated by 2 colonies, one of artists, the other of a distinctive red crab which breeds there every second season. Records and dream sales investigating the origins of Alcazar suggest a pre-flood justice system which restricted the freedoms of those in need of resources and rehabilitation, now inhabited by artists. Was this a prison? Was this a prison pre-flood? Did I just say flea-pred? Pre-flood. I keep thinking it sounds like Alcatraz. I think that this is a reference to Alcatraz, and this is like a rehabilitated prison, you know? Pata is the common language here, although there is one Old Tongue speaker. Huh. Neshko has admitted that Fort Alcazar is his home community, but not why he's been so secretive about the fact. I'm going, but I don't want to talk about it. And he speaks Pata? Merle is eager to support Neshko's return and to see the work of the many artists. Artists are those who most often carry the stories of our past, after all. Merle speaks Pata and an archaic version of Old Tongue. Okay, so he will be helpful with that. That might be the tipping point here. Stu speaks Pata and Esterly. With a family the size of Stu's, she's dealt with a fair amount of feuds and grudges. Maybe she can be of help? Come on, Neshko. Isn't it good to catch up with old friends, see what's new? And maybe I can pick up a bit of crab for dinner, too. And she speaks Pata and Esterly. Okay. So. Merle speaks Old Tongue, and there is one Old Tongue speaker who lives on this island. At the same time, though, I feel like Merle's priorities are a little skewed, and he's not really going to be there for Neshko. And I think resolving whatever issue Neshko is having might actually be more important than whatever obscure little bit of lore this Old Tongue speaker can give us. I think I'm actually going to take Stu, and this will be good because it'll be the first time we've taken Stu on an expedition. Alright, we're going with Stu. Alright. Having Stu around will be good for you. Okay. Good for you, Neshko. Alright. Workshop, artist's mess. Okay, it's a small island, it looks like. There are grim stories about the fort's past, but now it has been reclaimed by artists. People, plants, paint, and crabs burst forth. Alfred Tagato. Let's talk to the graffiti artist first. Oh, there's a line of red crabs blocking our path. Getting crabby. Bright red crabs crawl from the shore towards the cool grounds of Fort Alcazar. People are pausing, reassessing, and rerouting in response to their sideways scuttle. It is clear to whom the fort belongs. Breeding season. The crabs are en route to the forest behind the fort, their mating ground. The crabs of Alcazar share the community with the artists and swarm the island regularly in order to breed. I can't talk today, and I feel like taking a sip of tea will help. Okay. Then, in a few months, baby crabs head back to sea. Stu cannot take her eyes off the stream of crabs.
Ooh.
So much protein. Sorry? I mean, it's very impressive, kitten. Simplicity or togetherness? I find their union the most impressive thing. It's quite a powerful image, don't you think? Stu nods, distractedly, trying not to think too much about the wonder she could do with a little crab stew. Okay. The dew on the shore shimmers in the light of the rising sun. Their time is almost up, but while they're here, their sparkling should be done. Aw. Spirit of Alcazar. Neshko and Stu find Alfred fixated on a particular inscription within the arches. Alfred, hello. Neshko. It is Neshko, isn't it? Humbled by the chance to see you again, I have caught murmurs of your new life. Alfred turns to Stu. And it's a pleasure to meet you? Stu, hello. What are you up to? My work involves using dream sailing to channel former prisoners of this fort. The goal is to record their stories and, oh, love a good story, me. Neshko clears his throat. I want to make amends. Oh, I thought we were talking about the prisoners of the fort. Oh, I would have liked to talk more about that, because I think that's a very interesting thing. For what I did, for the hurt I caused. I appreciate the gesture, Neshko. But life goes on. I sense you are no longer who you were back then, and neither am I. The work, writing down these stories, it's more important than the past. A good attitude. What's in your wake stays in your wake. Alfred hesitates for a moment. Perhaps an example? I am learning from someone called Alio Hicks presently. Fort people, the practices of Alcazar involve researching and telling the stories of the fort's past inhabitants. They were held here before the flood. They authored this inscription. Alfred reads, They keep us away from light and each other, hoping that, robbed of human connection and a sense of time, we will lose ourselves. They have not accounted for nature, now my only savior. I am reset at dawn by bird song. Don't applaud, that's rude. Thank you for that, Alfred. But this work, I agree it is necessary, but it doesn't seem easy. Take care, please. When making the lives of the past inhabitants of a place such as this your focus, There's a certain discomfort you simply have to learn to live with. But thank you for the thought. The snips and scratches of crab claws against concrete echo through the arches. The resulting soundscape is surprisingly calming. Links to the past. Tagato readjusts her glasses, then twiddles with the end of one of her locks. She is deep into her exhibition preparations and doesn't notice Neshko and Stu's approach. Alcazar's exhibitions always coincide with the crab swarm. Is it on purpose? Do the crabs know? No one would tell me. Ah, Peeble. Tagato. She looks up, and her face falls in recognition. Are you well? I've been better. Nikita, what? It is Neshko now. I go by Neshko. Neshko, then. What are you doing here? I am here with some friends. We are searching for someone. Also, as I've been telling people, I want to make amends for my past. Neshko reaches out and brushes a hand against a large petal that forms a small part of Tagato's grand floral sculpture. Your practice has changed. Time can do that. Maybe evolved is a better word. I really love your pieces, Tagato. They feel spirited. Tagato is struggling to reconcile this Neshko with the person she once knew. They look at one another. Where have you been? Stu, having tried to be quiet to allow what's needed to occur, yelps as a crab starts snipping at her feet. Enthusiastic little things, aren't they? Neshko looks off to the side, where there's a pile of old chains. Karas's, I presume. Tagato turns toward the heap and sighs warmly. Who else, Neshko? The silence that follows is warmer and rounder than the ones that preceded it. Comfort in silence. It's never too late. Oh, good. There was that achievement had a picture of a vase with a crack in the middle that looked like it had been put back together. More water, is it? Or fertilizer? Tell me what you need, little living thing, and I'll do my best to get it for you. Plaque to the future. There's so much historical malarkey here. Maybe you should have brought Merle after all. Neshko smiles. I'm glad you're here. What's this one mean? The plaque? The chambers can only be accessed on certain non-fixed dates calculated by the astrologers. This will ensure the climate within doesn't shift and the Varos remains undisturbed. The Varos, some kind of creature? Unknown, possibly a form or instrument of punishment used during the barbarous before times. Neshko shrugs. I don't know. No one knows, really. Funny old place. Don't know how they expected to have folk heal by sticking them behind big old walls and setting monsters on them. Neshko nods. They did so much wrong. And yet, in the art and literature that survived, we can see there still remained goodness. This idea catches in Neshko's mind. It feels as though every encounter here reveals more of him to himself. Stu wanders on. Alright, either one of these places will progress stuff, so let's go into the Clay Cove first. The Clay Cove is bright, inviting, and tense. Filled with stunning but fragile ceramics, the space forces an extreme spatial awareness onto visitors. Uh-oh. That wouldn't be the broken sculpture, would it? Too phased, Neshko spots something familiar. Word of the Midnight Moon's party traveled all the way here. I can't believe you and Iris got to go to a party and I didn't. Can't help but think that kind of thing was wasted on the two of you. Neshko squints at the invitation. It kinda was, too. You're right. The invitation is from Gallo. What will we find next? Stu stoops and looks theatrically from side to side. Perhaps a birthday message that'll break this thing wide open. Neshko laughs and replaces the invitation. Oh, Magdalene. The art of repair. Neshko and Stu lay eyes on an unusual clay sculpture. It has been shattered and then pieced back together, bit by bit, with an iridescent adhesive. Pretty. It's a practice from even before the flood. Putting back together what's broken to make something even more beautiful. This is a piece I destroyed. That's what I thought. Ah. Neshko takes in a deep breath. It should please me to see something beautiful come from my rage. But all I see is a reminder of my regrets. Stu pauses to take a closer look at the sculpture. This line of silver in the blue wash. Stu shivers a little. The shape makes me feel funny. Like I've seen it before, recently. Like a tear in the sky. She turns away, brow lined with thought. This is Magdalene. She is quite a fast sculptor. A calm refusal. Magdalene doesn't look up as Neshko and Stu approach. I love her outfit. The crab inspiration all around. That is so cool. Magdalene, it's me. She doesn't look up, doesn't reply. I wanted to, Thought you could walk right back in, did you? Is this the woman he was arguing with when he broke the sculpture? She's still working at her pottery, not looking at Neshko as she speaks. No, not now. Can you own up to it? Does your friend here know? Neshko lowers his head. Thought not. I think all we need here is think again. Come back when you can be honest. Neshko turns away, hiding his face. The one problem with bringing Stu and Neshko along together is that both of their voices are low and a little grating on me. I feel like it's usually after Neshko or Stu-centric episodes that I feel like I need to take a break, but I'm gonna power through. Alright, where should we go? The workshop or the artist's mess? How about here? It's closest. Puppets. Morin is whistling an old Saltsea lullaby to his ever-growing population of personalized clay puppets. Oh, hey, that looks like me. That looks like Neshko. For some reason, the crabs are avoiding the workshop. The space feels forlorn without them. Pulling the strings. Stu looks around at the population of little clay people. She whistles in admiration. Impressive, isn't it? Morin has been making these since before I could even hold a paintbrush. And with such care. 1,000 choices in every face. They're a little spooky, Stu. You can admit it. Still, not sure I'd want one made to look like me. Morin means no harm. Stu notices one figure in particular. Look, a little Neshko one. Not long to be joined by Stu, I'd wager. But you can't capture that little spark that makes a person a person. Stu looks at Clay Neshko again. Morin has made you look quite worried. Neshko takes care not to look too closely. There it goes. The sculpture emits a strange clicking sound, not unlike a crab. Well, that's a fancy contraption. If Karas made it, I'd expect nothing less. Neshko is lost in thought for a moment and smiles. They're very disciplined, and their craft, as you see, is like nothing else. If Fort Alcazar were a ship, then Karas would be our Martin. What does a Martin have to do with a ship? Neshko sighs. I fear they will find an excuse not to talk to us. Hello, Morin. That's quite a beard you have. Morin the merrier. You're here! Neshko smiles at Morin, half shy, half relieved. I am. Amrita sent word you might be sailing this way. It's good to see you. Neshko now, right? It is, and it's good to see you too. Amrita. From Yuluka. She's one of ours. How's she doing out there? It sounds lovely. She did seem a bit on edge. Oh, that's a shame. I'd hoped Yuluka would be relaxing and energizing for her. She's been missed, and so have you, Neshko. Neshko looks up. Wants to believe it, but can't. I know that's not true, but it's good to see you, old friend. Maybe not everyone is going to open their arms right up, but this is your home. I'm not sure that's true anymore. Well, it's where you're from, and that'll never change. Neshko shakes his head, but knows there is truth there. I'm sure there's a bigger picture here I'm missing, but I reckon your friend here is right. Home always means something. Morin looks over Neshko. Neshko looks down at the ground. Can I help, kitten? Not now. Come on, old friend. It's going to be all right. Do you want to make yourself useful? Always. Right. Karis's old sculpture over there. Beautiful thing. Of course. It needs fixing up. Used to have this metal grabby part they scavenged, but it broke off. Have a look in the mess, eh? Crammed full of stuff. I'm sure Karis would appreciate it, and you do owe them. I do. Now come here. Morin opens his arms for a deep, familiar hug. Neshko lets himself relax into it. Thank you. Despite not being able to help, Stu smiles warmly at Neshko's relief. Awesome. Okay. Now we can go into the mess. And my guess is there's two things in here for us now. Card players, I'll do that next time. This is a communal space. All of the tiny marks on the floor suggest it is as much a home for crabs as it is for humans. The card players are louder than usual. They love an audience and are of course competing with the enthusiastic clacking of crab claws. Helly, painted crab claw. Let's talk to Helly first. Looks sketchy. Helly looks up, a bright smile lighting her face. My dear Nikita, you came back! She wraps her arms around Neshko in a warm hug. Neshko smiles, a little stiffly. And you've brought a charming friend with you, too. Hello, Stu. It's, Neshko now. Neshko, wonderful, and you're as handsome as ever. I'm not going to get a warm welcome everywhere. Oh, my dear, it was all such a long time ago. But it feels like yesterday. Helly, I just don't know what to do. So serious, still. I'll tell you what you should do. Have a proper look at your old mural, the big one. We've kept it as you left it. Have a proper look at yourself, at who you were and who you are now. I don't know if I can. Don't you trust me, dear? Neshko nods in reluctant agreement. Of course I do. Stu has been admiring the charcoal sketches all around. Are these all yours? Mine and mine alone, dear. Of course, drawing isn't really my specialty. I'm a performer. But these two won't leave me alone at night. Won't? Dreams, dear. I wake up every hour and just have to draw what I've seen. Helly holds up a drawing. Two people, one all smooth and quiet, one hairy and loud, and they're always fighting. I don't like them, neither of them. They're up to no good. Who are they? It's all so vague. One keeps shouting something about quays to the other. Quays? Or K's? K's. And the other, I almost have his name. Jai... Neshko squints at the drawing again. Not Jayantha? Yes, that's it! Neshko turns to Stu. That's who we met at Yoluka. They turn back to Heli. And you think they're, what, plotting something? Can you tell what? Dreams don't work like that, dear. I heard the word beacon, though. That's important. We've heard that, too. Do you know what that means? Sorry, dears. But if I were looking for an unknown place or thing, I'd visit Old Kerr at the Light. The Light, a stone tower on a bare, rocky, scary, I don't know that word, used to collect nautical observations and keep ships informed and safe. Due north, he has the best charts in the archipelago. If anyone knows where to go, it's him. He's a strange fish, though. In what way? Fishy. Heli laughs genially. What a lot of questions. I thought we were going to have a happy reunion. I'm sorry. I'd like that too. There's just bigger things than my problems right now. You've been very helpful, Heli. Heli gives a little bow. Glad to be of service. You come back when you've got more time. You're missed, Neshko. And it's always good to meet a new face. She gives Stu a warm handshake. We will. Alright, so Jayantha and Kays were up to no good together. That is not surprising to me. I did not trust that man. I did not want him aboard my ship. Stu, are you agreeing that Iris and Neshko made the right choice now? I hope you are. Chalk it up. Chalk sketches can be found on every surface. Neshko stares at them, but his mind is elsewhere. That's Jayantha, all right. Imagine, before the flood, there used to be great hoards of art. Locked away. They locked up art? What for? It seems monstrous, doesn't it? Doesn't seem like it's even art if you can't look at it. Or enjoy it, or whatever. I suppose lots of ways they lived that seem strange to us. They never really had time to think about. If you had to use all your time hoarding, maybe you'd be too tired to imagine other ways of, doing things. Neshko focuses on a particular drawing. Strange. This looks a lot like that man we met on Yoluka, Jayantha. The man Iris made a solo decision not to bring on board. Right. The perfect thing. Neshko spots a huge decorated crab claw among the mess of the mess. Look, it's perfect. It's certainly something, kitten. Beautiful decorations, see? He works the claw open and closed. And it still works. Sure does. Take it? No one will miss it? This is the mess. Everyone here belongs to everyone. If it's not in use, you can take it. And we have to get it right. Fair enough. Neshko lays a gentle hand on the old claw. I want to do something right. Okay. Mural fragment, workshop. Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on. Let's see. How long has this episode been going on? Alright, the crew is uneasy about Neshko again. I don't know if there's anything else that's new. Nah. Okay, and stuff in the almanac. Fort Alcazar, Clay Cove. Alcazar echoes. Crabs. Plotting crab, aggressive crab, gloomy crab, gregarious crab, furtive crab, and happy crab. Oh, I love the happy crab. It's so cute. Trades, gifts, and things found. Crab claw. And a map of the Saltsea archipelago. Yeah, I don't know how many more of these places we have to find. Yeah, so there are a few more things to look at. A mural fragment, and we can go back to the workshop and help Morin repair, what was their name? Karis? That sculpture. And we also have some spoils to play, and I want to not move the day forward until we get a chance to do that, but I don't really have time to play spoils right now, so I'll wait and do that next episode. And we'll do those things then as well. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Saltsea Chronicles.